Hi, this is Mary from the Daily Sew. Today I'm going to show you how to relocate a bust dart, but you can also use this method on relocating a waist dart. So a dart creates dimension in the flat fabric, and that allows the fabric, the garment, to lie smoothly over your dimensional body. However, many times where the dart is on the pattern isn't where you need it for your body, and in that case you're going to have to move the dart. You might need to raise it, you might need to lower it, but whatever way, I've got two ways to show you and they're both easy. This video is a part of a series on getting a better fit. So if you're ready, let's go. Before we get started, let's go over a couple things you need to know about darts. The main purpose of a dart is to add dimension and shape to the flat fabric, and then that allows the fabric to lie smoothly over the contours of the body for a fitted look. When the dart's position on the pattern doesn't line up with the fullness of the body, it's not going to lie smoothly. It's going to look a little off at best, and at worst, it's not going to fit at all. A pattern can only guess where your fullness is, and we all know that breasts and bums and bellies not just come in infinite sizes, but in infinite shapes and at different positions on different bodies. So also, darts point to the fullest part of the body. They stop 1 or 2 inches away from the apex. The apex is the fullest part of the fullness. Larger curves and mounds and more looser styles of garments require that the dart end about 2 inches away from the apex. Smaller curves, mounds, and more fitted styles will have the dart ending closer to the apex, only about 1 inch away. So sometimes the dart is not only not pointing to your fullness, it's either too close or too far away. There's a lot that can be off, but the fix is super easy and it makes all the difference in the final fit and appearance of the garment. So first we're going to determine where your apex is, to compare that to where the apex is on the pattern, and then we'll relocate the dart. Find your bust apex. Wearing your everyday bra or the bra you plan to wear with this particular garment, you want to measure yourself across from the apex to apex and from middle of the shoulder down to your apex. Or if you have a tissue paper pattern, you can hold the pattern piece up to your body as if it were the garment, and you want to be mindful of where the center front and the seam lines are placed, and then mark on your pattern where your apex is. So to mark your apex on the flat pattern, you're going to measure down from the mid-shoulder and mark the distance you got from shoulder to the apex. Remember that there is seam allowance. Then measure over half of your apex to apex distance from the center front, not from the edge of the facing or anything extending beyond center front, but from center front. Then measure in a straight line at the same level approximately of where the shoulder to apex measurement landed. And where those two measurements collide is where your bust apex is. If your apex is less than 1/2 inch away from the pattern's apex, you don't need to relocate it. If it's 1/2 inch or more, you do. The apex is shown on the flat pattern with a cross inside a circle. If your pattern has not indicated where the apex is, you can get a rough idea of where it is by drawing a line starting in the center of the dart base and straight through the dart point, and you stop about 1 to 2 inches beyond the dart point. This is the apex for how the pattern was drafted, which of course is not the same as where your apex is. Remember, the rule of a dart placement is that it points towards the fullest part of the body. Where the dart starts doesn't matter. Therefore, you can change the direction of the dart by simply redrawing it. Or, if you want to keep the original dart angle, we're going to move it. We're also going to assume for this video that the dart length, how long it is fine. The length of the dart has more to do with cup sizes, or more accurately, the difference between your high bust and your full bust measurements. But after you redraw the dart or move the dart, you can lengthen or shorten the dart legs to make sure it is far enough away from the apex. Let's start with the easiest, redraw the dart. So this method will throw off the angle of the dart when it's sewn. So you want to check first that you're not going to mess up with any style lines that might be in the garment. This is the faster method and definitely the one you want to do if you only need to move the dart tip slightly, like 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, because that slight move isn't going to change the angle of the dart too much. Draw a line starting in the center of the dart's base straight to your apex. Measure the length of the original dart leg. The new legs will ideally be the same length. Well, that's where we'll start. And the legs will start in the same location at the base. And they will end on the line that's pointing to your apex. That's the center of the dart. Draw in the top dart leg. Where the two legs meet is the new dart tip. After this, you can now measure how far away your new tip is from the apex, and you can change it, lengthen or shorten it, to mimic the distance that the original dart tip had to the pattern's apex. And you can redraw the legs if needed. Fold the new dart as if sewing it, bottom leg up to meet the top leg. You want the side to be one smooth line, and you may have to true the pattern slightly to make that happen. You can see my video how to true a pattern. While the dart is folded, cut across it to get the new shape of the side seam. And then clean up your pattern if you have too many lines and you need to get it clear. This method changes the look of the dart and the angle at which it is sewn. You can keep the original angle by relocating the dart in its original shape, and that's what we'll do next. The second method is to move the dart. If the original dart and the apex is way off from where your apex is, you need to move the entire dart as it is so that the original angle of the dart is going to stay the same. We're just going to bring it to the right position. Most instructions have you draw a box around the dart and cut it out. That's fine if you can leave your apex mark out of the box. If you can't, or if you rather, another option is to trace the dart onto a separate piece of paper. Then you can always see where your apex is on the pattern, because you need that to tell you where the dart should be. Either way, tracing or cutting, you'll slide the dart up or down the side seam so the tip points to your apex. If it's helpful, draw a line from the center of the dart's base through the dart point to see where it is pointing. Move the dart or the tracing of the dart so it points to your apex mark, and you want to line the bottom dart leg up with the side seam. Tape it down in its new place when you find it, and add paper to the pattern where needed if you cut the dart out. To get the new shape of the side, you want to bring the bottom dart leg up to the top dart leg, fold it out like you were sewing it. You can see that the side seam is out of alignment now. The more you move the dart, the more out of alignment, at least on a fitted garment. So closer to the armhole, the bodice is wider than it is near the dart. You want to get out a curved ruler to help you redraw the side seam. You're going to take away from the wider side and add to the lesser side. Your aim is to split the difference, but you do this by eye. No precise measuring, because the number one objective is a smooth side seam, which is why it's also important to diverge and rejoin the original side smoothly, like butter. While the dart is still folded, go ahead and cut out the new shape of the side. And that's it. It's that easy. And if you need any pointers on sewing darts, watch my video, How to Sew Darts. Well, I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments below, and I'll be sure to reply. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.